Good afternoon, St. Louis Park. Here at Noozles and Company, we give you the cold, hard facts. This is your host, Al Dente.
And your news correspondent, Mac and Cheese.
We've got a great story coming up, but buckle in for a bit of a serious topic.
The beautiful New Jersey town of Old Bridge is one of my favorite places in the world. Feel free to bask in the serene warmth and saline rivers of upstate New Jersey in the springtime. But don't get too comfortable, because Old Bridge has a huge problem holding it back.
Pollution.
Yes, thank you, Al. Pollution is one of the biggest issues plaguing this township, disrupting the peaceful nature and wildlife that its residents hold so dear. Take this forest in Middlesex County, where prospective city councilwoman Nina Joknowitz discovered a baffling 500 pounds of pasta next to the creek.
Dubbed Mission Impossible, Nina posted photos of the unholy site on social media and spread the word about the huge pollution issue in the Old Bridge Township.
She called for a spaghetti cleanup shortly after unearthing the oodles of noodles. We have an exclusive interview with Nina, township leader and resident of Old Bridge. Nina, walk us through what led to this peculiar situation.
Well, it all started when I was walking around the forest by the creek in Old Bridge, taking note of the litter scattered around and informing the public works crew of what needed cleaning up. Of course, there's lots of litter there, such as tires, discarded mattresses, but as I was taking inventory, something strangely stringy caught my eye.
What did you find?
Well, about yay high of assorted spaghetti and alphabet noodles, maybe upwards of 500 pounds or so. As I searched the alphabet noodles scattered around the creek, I picked out some letters and spelled out my full name. Quickly, however, I returned to the issue at hand and informed the township of the massive pasta heap.
And what struck you about this pasta in particular, Nina?
The noodles appeared to be fully cooked, which is absolutely baffling. I believe there's no way someone actually cooked all those noodles and left them out there. Just no way.
How do you think it got there?
It was probably extra stock from COVID that someone decided to throw out, and since the township doesn't accept bulk pickups, the culprit probably had little recourse, unfortunately, but for litter. As for why it seems cooked, that would probably be because of all the rain that we've been getting these last few days, which gave it the illusion that it was cooked.
So, what does this mean for the town?
Ultimately, the pasta is probably not going to have a lasting effect on the town, but the amount of dumped trash and litter in our town will. There's been a trend lately of increased litter, so I hope this crazy story can bring more eyes to the issue and increase publicity.
Thanks so much, Nina. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to say that even though the township is on the case now, I don't think we'd have this kind of response if I hadn't publicized it so much. I hope that in the future we can improve our litter problem and have a more environmentally conscious future.
Why is the flag at half-mast?
Well, that would be for the great pasta tragedy of 2023.
You just heard firsthand from the very woman who discovered the pasta pile. But quite frankly, I don't think one firsthand account is enough for our viewers.
You're completely right, Al. It feels like we have a noodle missing in this whole mystery. We still don't know who dumped the pasta in the forest, and we don't know why they did it. The only way to find out is to investigate the scene ourselves.
I need to take a quick break in the laboratory to change into some more formal attire, but then I'll be right back.
Hold on just 1 second. We have a caller from Hennepin County on the line.
Hey guys, I've been a fan of Noozles and Company for a long time listener, first time caller. I was just wondering, how are you going to get all the way to New Jersey from Minnesota?
Now in Old Bridge, New Jersey, around dusk, Mac and I were more ready than ever to uncover who could have polluted the forest with 500 pounds of uncooked pasta. In an unfamiliar town near nighttime, we were unsure about going through with the investigation, but we were driven to solve this mystery for our viewers.
I'm feeling a little nervous because it's a little sketchy, but overall, I'd say I'm confident that we can figure out what happened that led to this impossible situation.
We made our way to the forest of Old Bridge in search of the heaps of pasta. But before we uncovered the mounds of spaghetti, Mac and I unfortunately encountered many other types of trash littering the upstate New Jersey landscape.
While we haven't found much pasta as of yet, we have found quite a few very trashy objects.
Just here, I picked up one of the many pieces of trash strewn about the forest. The township recently voted against bulk trash pickups, and at this point we could see the situation was getting bad. People essentially rely on dumping large items, in this case, a mass of noodles, in nature where it is more difficult to clean up. Luckily for our investigation, the cleanup crew Nina called haven't reached the pasta yet, so we still should be able to gain some information from the scene for ourselves.
Al went off in search of the pasta, but as I was recording B-roll footage, I lost track of time and completely lost him to the woods. Still confident we would find the pasta somewhere within the dense forest of tires and mattresses, I searched for my colleague, but things quickly turned for the worse. Okay, so we've been in these woods for maybe 2 hours now, and I've completely lost my co-host Al. What we didn't mention at the beginning is that these woods have the notorious pasta killer. You might have heard of serial killers like Jack the Ripper or Jeffrey Dahmer. All reports I've heard say that the pasta killer is 100 times deadlier. So chances are what we're looking for in these woods, it might be a lot more than just the pasta. So we're going through these creepy woods. I think I'm hot on Al's trail. But at the same time, we have to be aware that the pasta killer might be lurking in here somewhere. False alarm. Al is really smart. He probably found the pasta already. And he's probably just waiting for me. False alarm. What's that noise? Al? Is that you, Al? Did you find the pasta? Al? The pasta killer! I think I see him. For real this time. Al? Is that you? I've never been happier to see you.
Oh, by the way, look what I found.
The pasta looked astounding, sitting there in all of its pasta greatness. These 500 pounds of noodles, while somewhat amusing to look at, could be extremely damaging for the environment and for the wildlife that might be affected. Now, after talking to a few more folks in Old Bridge, we found out the real story. A man cleaning out his mother's COVID noodle stockpile dumped the 500 pounds of noodles into the woods.
Although this one litter story is just a drop in the bucket, we hope that by spreading our knowledge of the litter issue plaguing this one town, we can raise awareness about pollution and contribute to slowing down the effects of climate change. On our way back to Minnesota, Mac and I enjoyed our last sunset in Old Bridge and looked back on our seemingly impossible impestogation with a sense of pride, knowing we solved the case.
Back in Minnesota, we're still reeling from all the revelations in our investigation. Putting all the pieces together was difficult, but we believe we solved the mystery of the forest pasta pile back in Old Bridge.
Since we left the scene, the city cleanup crew cleared the forest of all the noodles. There is still a pollution issue in the town of Old Bridge, but it will hopefully improve as word gets out about this whole pasta debacle.
We now want to redirect our focus back to the main issue at hand, pollution. Queued right up is an interview with resident scientist Alex Polk of St. Louis Park.
It's a drop in the ocean of the crapshoot that is current pollution and the things that humanity does to this world. Is that a positive thing that was done? No. There are worse things that we continue to do. I see it of two minds. In one mind, I kind of understand it if it's a political action of I want to take a stand and show what the impact of us doing X, Y, or Z is, and try to wake people up to what's happening. But then I also see it kind of like climate activists that mess up like a Van Gogh or a Picasso. It's I understand to a point, but also you just ruined beautiful art and you're gonna also alienate people when you do it that way. And so I recognize where it could come from a matter of trying to raise awareness and trying to get people to open their eyes, but I also see it as when we open people's eyes, sometimes it makes people want to go even further the other way. Actually prioritize the world rather than financial or social power. It's a very vague answer, but it's also the answer I mean.
Well, that was a very informative interview with Mr. Polk. We have just been informed by our legal team. We've been issued a cease and desist by a certain company who shares a similar name to us. I will not say the name of the company, but we have no comment at this time. We just hope that everything gets sorted out and we get to keep this show on air.